Hello, everybody. Here we are again. We MNF, where the masses meet the nerds and the freaks. And today our host is Chico. Which song you bring us?
God Only Knows. It's an homage to Brian Wilson that died yesterday.
Oh, yeah,
Well, we are recording this video in 12 June 12,
June 12th.
June 12, and this is why I choose this
This song,
the
yeah.
song.
Yeah, so Brian Wilson died yesterday. It's a great loss. And this song is from possibly everybody thinks this is the best Beach Boys album. That sounds, yeah. Let's
To
go for the
me,
song. It's a very short song, so I think we should play it completely. Then we make some comments and reactions on the song. So let's go for it. So now it's time to share. And as usual, as we are in Zoom, I'll need to adjust some things here, but it's fast. Okay, just hide this thing. And here we go. God Only Knows 1966, yeah, but that's the remastered version in the official's YouTube channel by the Beach Boys. Let's
the
go.
release it was 1966, but the recording started at 1965, specifically in 12 July.
July, not June.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
okay. So let's go for it. If you don't know, be prepared.
I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, well, life would still go on, believe me. The world could show nothing to me, so what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, though life would still go on, believe me. The world could show nothing to me, so what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what God only knows what I'd be
I let you play it all because it didn't make much sense to interrupt. It's a short song. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I can't. We can stop this music. So
Yeah,
beautiful.
we can stop. Yeah, it's a fundamental love song. Yeah, it's amazing, amazing composition. And the Beach Boys are well known for the vocal harmonies, and they are at their best in this recording. They're usually very good in the vocal
Yeah.
harmonies, but it's really fantastic.
This album is known as a album that have songs with a sophisticated structured harmonies.
Mm, yeah,
And I think that the composer, when he's very, very good, he can compose a complex structural harmony, and as the same time can be very beautiful melody,
yeah,
very touching song, like Tom Jobim, our Tom
yeah,
Jobim.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think this song is the perfect example how you can make a complex structural harmony in uh, as a base of the song, and result in such beautiful song, such
Yeah.
beautiful melody.
And that's an amazing ability, in fact, because it's hard to make something that's very harmonically very complex, but when you listen, it's very easygoing music. So you don't even you don't get stuck into how complex it is. You simply enjoy, and it's
Yes,
really very beautiful. And the instrumentation is amazing. Yeah, I like the
you don't
percussion. There's a very subtle percussion that goes through the track. Yeah.
in this moment in the Beach Boys career, Brian Wilson decided, because Brian Wilson was the head of the Beach
The
Boys.
man composer, obsessive composer. Yeah,
Yes, he decided that the band, as they are in the road playing in the shows, he writes some musicians, the wrecking crews, to record the album. So
yeah,
the Beach Boys band not play in
yeah.
this
They
album.
just sing. Yeah,
Yeah, I would like to pay homage to a woman called Carol Kane, that is the best player in this song. It's a very specific sound. Is a
yeah.
muted string sound.
Mm.
She don't let the strings in the
Vibrate.
free,
Yeah.
in the free vibrations. So
Oh.
she holds the vibration very short. We call
Mm.
it a mute strings playing. And I think she's playing with pick. I don't know for sure, but as with my ear
Suggests
said
you it is a peak. Yeah, yeah.
said me that she's playing with pick, and I think she played in a very different bass. It's a bass like it looks like a guitar, because it's the string is not so uh,
Separated. Yeah.
thick,
Not so
and
thick. Okay.
so not so thick, and is not so separate from each
Yeah,
other too.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
The Fender has a six bass. John Lennon used to play in the Beatles with in the recordings with this bass, but I think now I know the kind of this kind of bass that Carol Kay used to play was a Dan Electro.
Done electro. Okay. Yeah.
It's a very different bass
Okay.
with a different sound. So it's very, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, the
I
sound
can
of the
describe it
bass,
well.
the sound of the bass is quite marked. It's quite remarkable in the recording, and obviously all the strings and the horns is all very beautiful. The arrangement is fantastic. In fact, Brian Wilson was not touring with the band anymore at that point. He had decided to do more complex music. They were doing surf music. So that's his 11th album. So he had like 10 albums before. Most of these albums were like surf music, so it was the compositions were amazing, but Brian Wilson wanted something even more complex, so he wouldn't tour anymore. He would stay composing and recording. So yeah, as you said, basically when the Beach Boys would come from tour, and they were touring intensely, so they didn't have much time on the studio. So it's less than Brian Wilson don't trust his brothers and his cousin, which the band is basically the Wilson and the cousin. It's not that he doesn't trust them to record, it's that they were touring all the time because they were very successful. So when they would arrive, they would just do the vocal recordings and the album was ready. Yeah.
Brian Wilson used to be touring with them,
Before,
but
yeah.
before,
But
but
not at that point. At that point, he had
not
left.
not
He had abandoned it.
yes.
Yeah.
But once in an airplane, he had a panic attack,
Yeah.
so he hate to touring. So
Exactly.
he spent all his time in the studio. So he is composing, and this is why he decided to make the album in while the band is touring.
Yeah. 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 And after that project, he would get stuck in Smile that he was composing and I think Smile was launched only in 2000s, yeah. So he stayed like 40 years making the composition for an album. This tells how obsessive the guy was with the perfection, with the harmonic complexities he was trying to reach. And I don't know if you like Smile, but I think it's a great album. A great album. And one interesting thing at that point that the Beach Boys were very successful, and then the Beatles were very successful, and they were competing, not exactly for selling albums, competing to do the most incredible compositions, yeah. And so this album prompted the Beatles to do Sgt. Pepper's because it appeared before Sgt. Pepper's, and they were amazed with the atmosphere of the album, the compositions, the use of instrumentation. And so
Yes.
thanks to Pet Sounds, we have Sgt. Pepper's. And Paul McCartney said that this song, God Only Knows, was his favorite songs of all times. Yeah.
Yes, but I have to say that this album, Pet Sounds, is at the same time is a response to Rubber Soul.
Yeah.
That I don't know if equally, but touched the Brian Wilson's
Yeah,
Brian
yeah,
Wilson
yeah,
a lot. So
yeah, sure. Rubber Soul made Brian Wilson make the decision. Well, we need to do something more complex.
what the fuck I'm doing?
Yeah, because both the Beatles and the Beach Boys, they were making much more very accessible compositions, making a lot of success, and they were complexifying their music. So the Beatles were complexifying, inspiring the Beach Boys to do the same, and then back and forth, the Beach Boys were inspiring Beatles. So that was a very healthy competition because it gave
Yes,
us
was
fantastic
great.
works of art. Yeah.
Because both bands was a such easy composition
Before,
bands
yeah.
before in the beginning, the early 60s.
Yeah. Even though both bands had incredible vocal harmonies, even though the Beach Boys excelled even more than the Beatles in the vocal harmonies.
Because was in the beginning a vocal band.
Yeah, exactly.
They
And
loved
also
American band that was a band with four guys singing.
the doo-wop bands and
Doo-wop,
all these
yes.
things, yeah. And also, all the brothers were great singers. So the Beatles had a disadvantage because only Lennon and McCartney were great singers. George Harrison would do his stuff, but not very quite often wouldn't be singing. And Ringo Starr even less. So, and the Beach Boys, everybody was singing and singing fantastically. So,
Yes, great band.
yeah, one band that had the same kind of vocal harmonies and was contemporary at that point was the Bee Gees. But the Bee Gees were basically recorded in Australia at that point. They would move to the US later on. So the Bee Gees were less well known, but they had great vocal harmonies. But I fear to say the Beach Boys were were better. They were
Yeah,
they were they were the top. They were the top in vocal harmonies.
the projection in the USA was huge. They all the teenagers, the young people loved the Beach Boys and the Beatles too.
Yeah.
But the Beach Boys was the North American version of the Beatles.
No, I don't
If I
think
can
they
say
were.
that.
I don't think they were. Also, they were doing surf music, which is quite different from what the Beatles were
Yes,
doing.
there is no
Yeah.
beat surfing music in
No,
England.
no. UK is not well known for surfing. We can say that, while California is. So that's all this cultural context that explains a lot. And the Beach Boys were part of that movement of surf music at the beginning of the 60s. I remember when I was a teenager, what this funny movies to watch. The surf movies were quite funny, teenager movies about surf, and surf music was
Surfing
everywhere there.
USA.
Yeah, Surfing USA and things like this. Yeah, so
And
I think they were very different. I think they were both successful. Beach Boys were very much American sounding music. They got more similar when they will start this competition to do which band would do best in composition. Then they become more similar. By the end of the career of the Beatles, yeah, the Beach Boys lasted for a much longer time. Even though during the 70s, as far as I remember, Brian Wilson was not composing very much to them. So Brian Wilson was lost in this obsession with Smile. And there is I think the Beach Boys were entering the 70s, still relatively successful, but they would really lose success along the 70s. And Brian Wilson, I think, was not composing to them anymore. But they remain active. I think they never stop it, as far as I remember.
I can say because I watched the commentary about the Beat Boys. In the end of the movie, they talking about it, what Brian Wilson was doing in the 70s, even in the 80s. But I can remember well what.
Yeah, I saw this
I
documentary.
think it's not something expressive. We have to mention the participation of the psychopath guy.
What psychopath guy?
Charles Manson.
Charlie Manson. He was a friend of Dennis Wilson.
They made composed 4 songs together.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Dennis Wilson, yeah. Who was the drummer? Who was the drummer in Beach Boys and one of the singers for sure. Yeah. Yeah, they were close friends, Charles Manson and Dennis Wilson. Yeah.
Really
Okay.
curious.
I don't know if you heard Charles Manson recording.
If I heard,
Yeah, you heard?
one.
I think he made only one. No, but he made only one album. Charles Manson made one album.
Okay. I heard just one song.
Just one
once.
song, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it is nothing really remarkable.
I don't know. I don't remember
Yeah,
if it was
you,
good or not.
you see how important it is to choose your companies, yeah.
Uh, this was the best way to finish this episode.
Choose your companies well.
Uh,
Or 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 you'll be remembered by being a friend with a serial killer. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed. That was a great song that Chico brought to us. If you like the episode, give us a thumb up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be bringing music back every Sunday, commenting on the music we love to share with you. Bye bye.
Bye.